Bismillah. So I was browsing my bookshelf and I came across a book that I had been meaning to read for quite some time as a leader, as a coach, as a teacher. For those of you who don't know, I'm an assistant principal here in the South Bronx at I'd say relatively successful school. And trust me when I say you don't have to be a leader to get as much as you can from this book. I think anyone who wants to improve in whatever practice they're in should read this. And when I talk about improved practice, I'm talking about Practice Perfect by Doug Lemov. Now, for my non-teachers out there, Doug Lemov is a prolific writer. He wrote Teach Like a Champion, in which he tells teachers how to teach like a champion. But in Practice Perfect, he just talks about generally how and why practice is so important and why we should seek feedback when it comes to practice. Lemov does a fantastic job doing it in 42 rules about practice and how you should go about practice using those rules, but he really does a great job discussing the importance of practice with a specific anecdote about a doctor, a surgeon whose name Atul Gawande. Now, I could be mistaken, but Gawande was a perfectly fine surgeon. There was nothing wrong with his surgery, but he felt like, in his own words, he reached a professional plateau. So what did he do? He enlisted a coach to help him practice. Even if it was raising his elbow a couple centimeters during surgery, he needed that practice. He needed someone to come in and give him that feedback, or else he just wasn't going to get better. And again, there was nothing wrong with him as a surgeon. And one of the things I appreciate most about Lemov's book here, the 42 Rules for Getting Better at Getting Better when it comes to practice, is he dispels the myth that practice is for people who are just not good at something. Because, again, Surgeon Atul Gawande, he was fine. He was a fantastic surgeon. However, to get better, to go above that plateau, you need to receive some type of feedback. You need to be hungry to practice to get better. Now, think about this. If you had a close relative who was going under the knife for surgery and you saw a coach, somebody standing over the surgeon giving pointers, you would feel like something is amiss. But again, Lemov talks about how that's not the case. Everyone should have a coach. Everyone should have some type of mentor in order for them to tell us what our blind spots are, because we all have them. And that's one of those 42 rules at getting better, is we all have blind spots. Nothing wrong with practicing, having a coach to help you locate those blind spots. Now, just tell me in the comments, is there anything that you're working on getting better at? And do you have a coach? Do you have a mentor for that thing? If so, if not, why?